In this video, I'm going to be covering RipX DAW Digital Audio Workstation, the AI DAW that is available right now. So let's get started. Hey everyone, this is Barry. So this is from a company called Hit and Mix. It's hitandmix.com to go to the actual website. And from there, you're able to look at the various different packages that they do. And you're able to check out reviews and look at videos, check out what artists think about it. And it's been this is a video I've wanted to do for some time. But it's such a big piece of software. Knowing how to demonstrate it in the best way possible was very challenging for me. But I finally got around to doing it, and I think I've nailed it. So we start off with the website, first of all. I don't want to delve too much into it, but as you can see, the actual functionality that we've got on here is really cool. We've got lots of different processing options on here. We've got all different various things on here. We've got MIDI, we've got pitch shift, we've got all kinds of things that we can do. So let's get started with what the fundamentals are. So the RipX DAW is the standard model. So this is a first of its kind artificial intelligent DAW, digital audio workstation. It's award-winning. It's done 6+ stem AI separation, which is able to do. Now, previously, I had to use FL Studio and I had to upgrade it to be able to stem out the individual samples from my music, such as drums, such as vocals, that kind of thing. Now, some of my older tracks that I did, I lost the project files. So for me, it was really important that I could use an AI tool to extract those out. And I was able to do so. It can also be something really useful if you're generating AI music. So AI tools, particularly music generation tools, don't often give you the privilege of being able to extract out those stems. You generally just get an MP3 or or a WAV file, or sometimes even a MIDI file if you're very lucky. But that WAV stem separation isn't always there. Now, RipX DAW includes that 6+ stem AI separation, which I just think is brilliant. You're able to edit those stems note by note. You can group various notes together, and you can even do this on AI generated music, which is just, I think it's incredible. So I love that. You can do remixes with this. You can replace instruments with different types of sounds, like I could change my vocal into a piano if I wanted to. And on the Mac OS version, it also works with video, which I think is really cool. Now, there is a Pro model. Now, this Pro model is, again, the AI DAW with unlimited capabilities. So you get everything as above, also enhanced stem cleanup. So again, that's extra processing, that's getting rid of noise, that kind of thing, background stuff, which I just think is really important in this day and age. Also with AI generated music, a lot of the vocals can sound really rough, really off sometimes. And to be able to know that you can process it in this DAW, I think is really cool. So we'll look into that. You've also got a top tier audio repair and effects. So it might be that you've got some really old, cassette demos and you want to repair those. It also has Audio Shop Advanced Creative Tools as well. What's very interesting is that they are keeping on top of trends. For example, this Apple Vision Pro. It is coming out to Apple Vision Pro and it's all 3D and you can integrate it by touch. I just think it's amazing. Now, what's great about this software is it's free trial for 21 days. So that gives you 3 weeks to really try it out, see if it's for you. They've also got a great community on their Discord channel. They've been featured on Music Radar magazine, SOS Sound magazine, and they've got all of the various social media stuff as well. So let's have a quick look into what else this can do. If I click on RipX DAW here and just load that, gives you a bit more examples on here. So it says the first of its kind AI DAW. Almost all functionality within RipX DAW is provided through simple yet powerful, intuitive and customizable panels, which is really good. It can be great for producers and creators, musicians and music directors, DJs and remixers and students as well. In terms of the technology, it goes on to say that it's they call it the RIP format, which is a step up from waveforms, enabling full control of all aspects of the sound. For example, you can mix your favorite parts together, have fun with tempos, pitches, key scales, time stretching, stereo panning. I mean, I use Cubase and Cubasis, and I'm finding the functionality on here is really quite substantial for an AI DAW. The developers have obviously really worked hard with this, which I just think is brilliant. It also identifies things like the musical scale or key of a track, which a lot of DAWs don't actually do. You can have auto pitch to scale, which you can turn on, so it will actually fit the notes into the scale automatically. Again, all of this stuff really helps artists. You've also got a randomize effect, so you can set up a loop and hear the sections of the music played back in different scales. So I just think it's great. You can drop your own background image if you want onto the RIP project to set the mood when creating music. They've really thought about this. It's even ASIO compatible, which is good. With Steinberg, use those. Let's have a look at the Pro model and see what they've got featured on there. Again, this is a 3-week trial, so you're able to do that as well. I'll come on to the packages very, very soon. You've got Audio Shop tools for fixing and cleaning, unpitched audio editor, harmonic editor, scripting language. It's just amazing, isn't it? All of this functionality that this has. This is the clean and repair audio bit here on here, and you're able to slide this across. And to the left is less, and to the right is more. So 0 to 100%. It's just so easy to use, which I think is great. So if you wanted to buy it, let's have a look at the packages that are available. So you try it free for 21 days. The RipX DAW version, the standard version, is £99. If you want the Pro version, that's £198. Now, what the company's done for me, they did reach out to me and they gave me a 3-month trial. So that's what I've got to try out with this video, which is really cool. They do offer a 50% educational discount, a 25% if you already own Melodyne. It's very similar to Melodyne, if you know of Melodyne, where you could put in somebody's vocals and then you could change the pitch by sliding it up and down on each note. It's very similar to that. But if you do already own that stuff, they will give you a 25% cross-grade discount, which is great. Now, it is important to say that this can be quite process heavy. So, for example, I installed it on my M1 MacBook Air, and it was 900 megabytes to download, and then the actual app itself was 2 gigabytes. But it does go on to say that you need to have 2012 and later models on Mac OS, including M1 onwards. If it's Windows, it needs to be at least 7 and 64-bit set to. And it does go on to the disk space. So if you're interested in that, then just check that out on the website. But also it does cover the Pro because it is a bit more processor heavy as well. Okay, so I've just loaded RipX DAW, and what I've noticed it is the Pro version, but it is a trial of 92 days. So that's what they've given me, which I think is very generous of them. So what I am really impressed about with the company is that they are really on the ball with reaching out to people on YouTube that are influencers such as myself, and they're really good with engagement. So I am impressed so far with the company. Hadn't heard of them before. So let's have a look at the software. So we've got welcome to RipX DAW. Here are a few short tips to get you going. Click here to begin. You can drag and drop files or full songs here. You can generate AI music or record using the buttons below, or begin by dragging in sounds from the panels to the right. This is where the songs will be stored as RIP files. So I think of RIP files as project files. You can access separate layers of each RIP from their drop-down menus, and that's really cool because that's when it starts extracting out the stems. RIPs are broken into layers, and this is where you can select solo, mute, and EQ each individually. So you've got full control, a bit like a mixer, and you can also add your own layers as well onto the top. The input panel is where you can set all microphone, instrument, MIDI, and MPE inputs. If you'd like to play using your keyboard's keyboard, select computer keyboard and use the keys shown on the on-screen keyboard. That's something that I've really missed with a lot of DAWs because they don't often do that. You have to have a MIDI keyboard connected, and that kind of thing drives me insane because it's just not accessible for me all the time. Further help will be shown here for items under the mouse pointer. So this is a help section here. And more detailed information and tutorials could be found from the help menu. Access effects, sounds and loops to add from these panels on the right. Blend effects and sounds with the slider, or fully replace any sound with a single click. So you can see here vibrato. I can literally move that up to where I want to, and then it'll literally start doing that all the way from 0 hertz all the way up to about 16, is it? 16 hertz. There we go. So you're able to use vibrato on that. So these are your project files here. So this is project 0, project 1, project 2. you've got the MIDI keyboard on here, and you've got the various different layers on the left-hand side. So you've got click track, you've got master, you've got add, backing vocal, bass, cymbal, drums, guitar, hi-hat, and keyboard. This is the input section that I just spoke about. So I could select computer keyboard. And then when I've got MIDI controlled, then I can actually use MIDI with that. So what I now want to be looking at is actually generating some AI music. Now, if you're a follower of this channel, you'll know that Suno.ai is one that I absolutely love because it's not only such an amazing AI music generator, it also includes vocals and lyrics, which is just amazing. So I'm just going to make a song from here, and then I'm going to import it into RipX. So I'll click on Make a Song. And then what I'll do is I'll just quickly go to Library and log in. All right, so let's create a new track, shall we? Now, let me think about how we could do this. Let's start with custom mode because you've got a lot more control. I want it to make lyrics about RipX DAW is amazing and is a great AI tool. Now, it may not want to create lyrics based on that huge sentence, but we'll see, because normally it works better if you do short words. But there you go, it has done it. So we've got a verse, we've got a chorus, and it's used ChatGPT to actually generate those lyrics for us. What kind of style do we want? Well, let's have a look at random. Emotional grunge, it might be a bit depressing. Futuristic bluegrass, I don't know what bluegrass is. Romantic blues, no. Mellow indie, we'll go pop indie, I think. And create. You can see you can change the title down the bottom if you want to as well. So at the bottom of this song list, so what it's done two different songs for me. So we'll check out the first one here.
RipX, the AI's up in the house, creating beats never seen before, no doubt. With every drum kick and every snare, unleash the power, we gon' take it there.
Okay, it didn't do the chorus.
The AI's up in the house, creating beats never seen before, no doubt. With the drum kick and every snare.
Okay, I definitely prefer the first version. Now what you can do, you can use the ellipse button, the three dots, and you can go continue from this song. I'm going to keep the same stuff in there, but I'm going to take out the verse because we've already done that. Let's just focus on the chorus and click continue. And what it's going to start to do now, it's going to start to actually produce the chorus for us. There we go. It took a while to start, but it is doing it. I clicked on it twice, so I'm going to get 4 different versions. We only need one. Try this one.
RipX DAW, it's a tool so cool, making music like a lyrical fool. Unleash the beats, let the creativity flow. RipX DAW, the future of hip-hop, yo.
Okay, not bad.
RipX DAW, it's a tool so cool, making music like a lyrical fool. Unleash the beats, let the creativity flow. RipX DAW, the future of hip-hop, yo.
Think we're going to go with that one. So what you can do, you can click the 3 dots, and this time you can go get whole song, and it'll merge those 2 versions together for you, the verse and the chorus, and then that way you've got part of a song. You can just keep doing that in terms of continue until you come up with, like, say, a 3-minute song, and then you can edit it as you want to. So you can see here it's got full song. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to click the button, I'm going to go download, move myself over a bit, and I'm going to download the audio for that track. Unleash the beats. I kept thinking it was beasts, but it's beats. Music. Okay. So we've got our song. So let me just go into the Finder and find it. That's what you generally do with this stuff. And we're going to drag the MP3 over the top. Right, so these are the Ripper options for Unleash the Beats. We've got voice, other sounds. I'm going to separate the guitar and the piano if it allows me to. And I don't want to click save stems only because it would only save those stems and not the entire track. And I'll keep in bass, drums, and percussion as well. I think that's amazing because there is a tool called La 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 and .ai. And what I find with that is it's quite expensive because you have to keep buying credits to extract the stems from that, which is why I originally got it from FL Studio and upgraded. But the fact that this DAW is, it's really clever in terms of the visual element of it. Now you can see in terms of processing, I'm not a pro user or anything on my MacBook. It's just a MacBook Air M1. It's less than a minute to actually process that track. Now, if it was a WAV format, it might take quite a bit longer. If it was a longer song, then it would take a bit longer. But you've got a good progress bar behind this, as you can see. So we'll just give it a second to finish. Just spilt it everywhere, including on my glasses. While we're waiting for that to finish, when you go to File and Export, you're able to save these music files in WAV stereo. You can even export MIDI, MP3, STEM, MP4, movie, and FLAC as well. So that is quite impressive. They really haven't shortened what's available on this. I'm quite impressed with it. And you can export the full rip as the entire project, the entire song. You can export selected times and notes, just a loop, or selected rips. And you can just tell it to export all the stems if you want it to, or all the layers separately. I'm really impressed with the options that RipX actually gives on here. So Unleash the Beats has finished, so I'm going to click on that. Now, what we get on here is we get a visual representation of all of the notes of that track. So we've got vocals on here, we've got piano, guitar, bass, kick, and percussion, and other. Because remember, AI generated is hard to extract everything perfectly. So there may be some crossover with this, so it's something to bear in mind, particularly with AI generated music at the moment, because it just kind of mesh everything together. Whereas if you've traditionally done a full track and you've got the vocals quite isolated to the mix, that's going to make a big difference in terms of extraction. So we've got the various layers here. Again, we're able to slide these across as we want to. I'm able to mute out various aspects of this, or I can just click on solo, or I can record another one. So yeah, there's various things with this. Okay, so what I've had to do is I've had to start this recording again, because I just talked for about half an hour. It didn't record. So it's just how it goes, isn't it? So what I've done is I've re-imported the track again. So you've got the project file on the left hand side, and then if I click on it, what you've got is you've got various different extractions that it's done. So you've got vocal on here, piano, guitar, bass, kick, percussion, other. Now other's there because it may not detect everything, and just because it says guitar doesn't mean that that's exactly what it is. If you've got an old track and you've done the vocals in isolation, then chances are it's going to split that out really well. If it's AI music, then it generally blends everything together. So there's not always the luxury of doing that. But what you are able to do, you can see in the layers. So if I just minimize rips and have a look at the layers, you're able to solo all of this stuff out. So if I just want to hear the vocals, for example, I click on S and it will mute out everything else. And this is just the vocal that I see here. So I can click on the beginning and listen to it.
RipX, the AI's up in the house, creating beats never seen before, no doubt. With every drum kick and every snare.
Now it starts scrolling automatically at the bottom, which I absolutely love. I love the visual representation of this. I love the fact that you can zone out on various, or zone in on various sounds that you just are not sure about. Like that one, delete. That one, delete. Delete. There you go. So you can do that straight away, which I just think is amazing. You can multiple select by dragging.
RipX, the AI's up in the house.
You can also select with the command button or the control button, just particular ones. And then you're able to group those together if you want to as well by going to edit at the top and actually grouping them. So let's have a look at some of the other sounds, shall we? So we've got piano, and there's no piano. Guitar, very faint. Bass. Okay, does a really good job with the bass. Let's just listen to the drums and the percussion. What you're able to do, you can move any particular sound you want and change its pitch. Love that you can do that. I think it's really super useful. And that's obviously the same with the vocals as well. And other is always an interesting one. Let's see what other sounds like. Okay, let's see if we can turn that up a bit. Got got things like chorus processing effects on the right. You've got some stereo panning that you can do, saturation, gate, compression. The list absolutely goes on with what you can do with this. You can do some repairing if you want to, and it's real-time edits, which I love. So this is just a case of playing around with it and finding the best effects and processing functionality that works. I just love that. I think it's amazing. Let's go back to vocal now. I'm just going to solo that out.
RipX style, the future of hip hop.
Okay, that was the end, so let's go back to the beginning. I don't know the shortcuts yet.
RipX, the AI's up in the house, creating beats never seen before, no doubt. With every drum kick and every snare, unleash the power, we gon' take it there. RipX style, it's so cool, making music like a lyrical fool. Unleash the beats, let the creativity flow. RipX style, the future of hip hop.
Wow.
RipX, the AI's up in the house, creating beats.
And if you don't like it, you can just right click to just go back to default settings, which I love that over processing. You've got search functionality as well. You've got the BPM, so you can change that for the whole track to a selection, which I think is amazing. You've also got time signature, things like 2/4, 2/2 is on there. You can customize it as well. A lot of DAWs don't actually offer that at the moment, and it's a bugbear for producers because they want to be able to really change their tracks, and they're limited in terms of what the DAWs can offer. So the fact that it does that, sound is a really interesting one, because what you're able to do is you're able to change various, whichever layer you're listening to, you're able to change the sound of it. So if I listen to classic, bring it up a bit, just give it a bit more room. There we go. And there we go. So I've listened to bass guitar, bassoon, cellos, flute. So you're able to change vocals if you really want to. Of course, you wouldn't generally do this, would you? But, you know, it's there. And I think if there's a cello and you're doing an EDM track and it doesn't fit, you're able to manipulate that sound on that layer. And that is, again, incredible technology. I never take this stuff for granted. And one thing I absolutely love, if you click on input and go to computer keyboard, you're able to then change or actually record what you want to play. That's amazing. Absolutely amazing what this can do. And you have to love the undo button as well, don't you? Thank goodness for the undo button. I would have messed it all up. And yeah. Yeah, so you're able to use input on the computer keyboard if you want to, or an external MIDI keyboard. It would probably be a lot more simpler to actually do that. So I've listened to the whole track again. With every drum kick and every snare, you're able to, like a mixing desk, actually move these sliders around to how you want to. Again, this stuff's really easy. Rather than having to go into the mixer section and having the whole screen as a mixer, just doing it on here is brilliant. Absolutely love the way that this is laid out. The only thing I would say that's a bit of a challenge for me is the fact that everything is on the one screen. I'm used to having individual track stems, and I know exactly where I am. So it's a bit of a different way of working. However, what I do love is just the Melodyne look of it, the interpretation of the graphics of the wave files overlaying each other one against a MIDI keyboard is just incredible. So you do have sampling functionality with this. And yeah, I think it's got an awful lot going for it. So impressed. With every drum kick and every... It even counts you in when you press the record button. With every drum kick and every stance, unleash the power, we gon' take it there. Wow. And it's just, it's labelled that as the date, which I think is really interesting. Wow. So impressed with this. So yeah, hope you like this. I really did want to feature this software because it's the only AI DAW I know that's actually out there. And I'm just so impressed with how it works, how you can manipulate sounds, how you can just change the pitch of them so easily, how you can create new layers over the top of things, how you can manipulate sounds like the kicks, changing a kick to a clap, for instance, you can easily do. The mixer functionality, and of course the AI generation stem extractor is just amazing. That's the first thing it does as soon as you drag a file over the top. It extracts out the stems for you. So let me know what you think. Please put a comment in and I'll catch you on the next one. Take care. Bye.